Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security.
Our food, yeah.
Like you don't have a menu? So how am I supposed to know what to order for or what to eat?
Who the heck recommended this rascal of a hooker for you?
Who can you want? What do you want? Oh my God! Who is that lousy woman and why are you screaming to the rooftop? Stand up for me and get out! You just said this place is a shower place? Please don't hear that. What are you waiting for? Come here! Come! Take out! You didn't hear what?
Dub. Yes. Oh. Now my dirty they smell like this. Now to throw away am quick. This kind smell fit make man sick. That woman throw away dirty for ground. Me sef go do the same this time around.
Hold up.
See, to do this kind badness by the book, you make sure say person know the look. And then you drop am nicely. Bros, nothing will happen. Trust me.
See, if you throw away dirty for ground, another person sef throw away dirty. Everybody come begin to throw away dirty for ground. Everywhere go come dey smell. Gutter go block, road go block, and you will like to dey dab.
Hello there, a very good evening to you. Welcome to NTA News Extra, the news package that comes with the extra touch. We're still in election mood, and this weekend there will be another round of elections. We have stories on that, plus the president's message. For the Christian brethren, Lent has begun, of course, with Ash Wednesday. We'll let you in on the significance. And away from politics and religion, we're loaded with development stories, business news, and much more. Well, as usual, let me not bore you with the intros. Let's get a taste of the pudding itself. I am Fatima Abbas Hassan, and this is News Extra. Now, you know what season we're in now? The season of elections. Thank God, we're done with the presidential and National Assembly elections. So up next is the governorship, state houses of assembly, and FCT area council elections. We look forward to a peaceful and credible elections, and that's what Mr. President is also advocating. And so we begin News Extra with his address to the nation.
The second and final phase of the 2019 general elections comes up on Saturday, March 9th, with Nigerians voting for governors and members of the houses of assembly in the states. Let me once again extend my condolences to the families of those who lost their lives or sustained injuries as a result of accidents or criminal violence during the elections. The onus is once again on qualified people to turn out in large numbers to exercise their civic rights. With the presidential poll behind us, let us not become complacent and fail to vote in the gubernatorial poll. The forthcoming elections are as important for good governance as that of the presidency and the National Assembly. Indeed, governance at the state level is closer to us. and should touch our lives more directly. That is why it is vital for us to participate in the choice of who governs us at the state level. I, therefore, urge you to troop out massively on Saturday to elect your governors and state lawmakers. As a member of All Progressive Congress, I recommend those standing on the platform of the party to you, as we are guided by progressive ideals, and we will not disappoint you. Equally, I urge you to comport yourself properly as you turn out for the election. Avoid all deviant behaviors like ballot stuffing, ballot snatching, and any other action that does not conform with best electoral practices. I assure you that the security agencies will be on hand to protect voters and ensure that the process is not undermined in any way. Let us make the gubernatorial polls much better than the presidential, which local and international observers have adjudged to be free and fair. May I repeat my appeal to our young people: do not allow yourselves to be used to cause violence or to break the law or otherwise disturb the peace. I have pledged decent and credible electoral system for our country. I stand by that promise. Let us together do the right thing on Saturday so that the best hands can emerge as the states and take us faster to the next level. Thank you, and God bless our country. Amen.
Thank you, President Muhammadu Buhari there in his address to the nation on the governorship and state houses of assembly elections. Now, moving on, President Muhammadu Buhari has promised to make the last lap of his administration more responsive, responsible, and functional for the good of all Nigerians and prosperity. The president was speaking at an audience with the members of the Board of Trustees of the Arewa Consultative Forum, who paid him a solidarity visit. State House correspondent Adam Musambo has that report.
The Arewa Consultative Forum is a political and cultural association of leaders in northern Nigeria with considerable influence in the region. The main purpose of the forum is to, among others, ensure unity, stability, and progress in the north within democratic framework. Members of the Board of Trustees, led by Malam Adamu Fika, are therefore here in the State House to felicitate with President Muhammadu Buhari following his re-election for another 4-year term with majority of the votes cast.
The Arewa Forum will continue to support you in your determination to take Nigeria to the next level of peacekeeping, socio-economic development, and sustain growth in social and economic indices. We wish you good health and success in the honorable task ahead. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to protect and guide you in piloting the affairs of this great nation.
The Arewa Consultative Forum noted with delight that various projects of concern to the north and of benefit to Nigeria, abandoned or ignored by previous administrations, have been revitalized and reinvigorated. These include the Barrow Dry Port, Mambila Hydropower Project, agricultural and roads revolution, as well as oil and gas exploration.
It is pleasant to note that the Barrow Dry Port has been commissioned, while all the other projects have been reactivated and are at various stages of implementation. We pray that those organs of government charged with the responsibility for the implementation would double their effort to ensure that these projects are executed fully to the logical conclusion within reasonable time.
President Muhammadu Buhari expressed appreciation to the ACF leadership for the show of support, which he described as well thought out and galvanizing.
This is my last lap, and I will try to work even harder than I did. I very much appreciate your coming here to congratulate me, and I assure you that I will not let you down. I will do my best, and I will pray to God my best will be good enough.
The Arewa Consultative Forum was formed in the year 2000 with the former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, as his first chairman, Board of Patrons. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And with the governorship and state assembly elections just around the corner, guests on Good Morning Nigeria say the atmosphere is friendly and peaceful at the grassroots. Alika Okwanachi-Arua has that report.
The governorship elections will hold only in 29 states, but that of state assembly will hold in all 36 states, while FCT will have the area council elections. Towards a free and credible exercise on the 9th of March, the guests advocate early deployment of electoral materials to enable commencement of accreditation and voting on schedule. They stressed that security should not be taken for granted.
For this election, what we're expecting from security is with deployment that you have personnel deployed across board to ensure that you reduce the tendency of disruption of the process, and security deployed to actually secure property and personnel.
In terms of deploying materials for the elections, we expect that INEC would learn lessons from, the lateness in some areas, as we witnessed on the 23rd.
NTA correspondents also give situation reports from the locations.
The first thing that seems to be touching voters the most in Oyo State is education. They want an improvement in everything that has happened.
Sokoto is the atmosphere is friendly, and the political parties are gearing up towards the Saturday's governorship and state assembly elections.
INEC is saying that they are fully prepared in all regards to ensure that the lapses that were witnessed in the last election, talking about the presidential and national assembly elections, are properly taken care of.
As the countdown to the state post continues, the public anticipates an improvement of the electoral process. In Abuja, Alika Okwanachi-Arua, NTA News.
In the meantime, security agencies in Lagos have reassured the electorate of violence-free elections on Saturday. The Commissioner of Police, Zubairu Muazu, and his counterpart from the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps say adequate measures have been put in place to forestall disruption of the exercise. Paul Omukago was there.
The experience from the presidential and national assembly elections in Lagos State is seen as a reference point in terms of preparations for the gubernatorial and House of Assembly elections. It is for this reason the police and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps say they are not only ready but working to avert all forms of disruptions in the process.
We are going to have the armed security agencies closer to the polling units this time around. The electoral law does not permit us to post armed men at the polling units, but we try as much as possible to have them at the closest distance to the polling units so that they can move in quickly and ensure that no electoral process anywhere is being disrupted.
We are working totally in conjunction, in cooperation, in coordination, in cohesion with all other security agencies, not in competition, which means that all hands are on deck.
Lagos State Governor Akiwumi Ambode equally assured electorate of adequate security measures ahead of the elections on Saturday.
I want to encourage all Lagosians to exercise their rights so that we can have a large turnout. And, the security agencies also have assured us that there will be peace across the nooks and crannies of Lagos.
The police has given assurance that they are actually ready for Saturday's governorship and House of Assembly elections. They've also told us that all the suspects arrested in respect of the presidential and National Assembly elections have been sent to Abuja for further investigations. In Lagos, Paul Mukago, NTA News.
Electoral violence and how to eliminate same in the polity has been the focus of all in this 2019 elections. With the last lap of elections around the corner, more is being done to eliminate violence. In Taraba State, the Inter-Party Advisory Council has organized a one-day seminar for violence-free polls, from where Joseph Watson now tells us more about it.
Though one of the states pinpointed as a flashpoint for political violence ahead of the 2019 general elections, Taraba State witnessed a peaceful presidential and National Assembly elections. Nevertheless, the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, is not leaving any stone unturned, as there are some reported build-up to violence in some states ahead of the governorship and state assembly elections. The council has taken a step further to sensitize political parties, their candidates and supporters on negative impacts of bitter politicking.
We came out to invite people, to sensitize people, so that they should know that hate speeches in politics is not good. Toggery is not good.
At a one-day seminar in Taraba State, stakeholders dwelled on the need for more voter education, dangers of political toggery and hate speeches.
For the government who is coming to execute for you people, it's better off than to organize yourself to fight your enemy. It's not an enemy at all, your brother.
I also want to appeal to all our stakeholders, our parents, our political parties, the agents. Stop empowering your followers with drugs.
The Inter-Party Advisory Council is an umbrella body of political parties with a mandate of deepening democratic tenets and values. In Jalingo, Joseph Sound O10, NTA News.
The Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, has solicited more support of the electorate in Ogun State for all candidates of the APC ahead of the governorship and state constituencies elections on Saturday. Professor Osinbajo, during a campaign tour of Abuja, also expressed appreciation for the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari. Shagun Lawole has the details.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, in company of the APC governorship candidate Dakpo Abiodun and his running mate Noimot Oyedele, and other party stalwarts, moved from one market to another across the length and breadth of Abeokuta with messages of hope and a better future under the governing APC, as the party collectively in all tiers of government takes Nigeria to the next level. While addressing party supporters at a rally in Ake area of the capital city in vernacular on Saturday's elections, Vice President Osinbajo solicits more support for APC as done during the presidential and National Assembly elections. He also held a town hall meeting at the Centenary Hall, Ake, with some selected groups, wherein again assured the people of Ogun State and the country in general of adequate security arrangements before, during, and after the elections. The APC governorship candidate, Dakpo Abiodun, urged party supporters to come out en masse on Saturday and vote for APC for better Ogun State. He also educated voters on how to avoid void votes.
The APC governorship candidate in Akwa Ibom State, Obong Nsima Ikere, has appealed to indigenous residents of the state to ensure that victory for the party by effectively participating in Saturday's governorship and state house of assembly elections. He made this known at the end of a meeting with APC stakeholders in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital. Miriam Vincent Oko has that report.
Obong Maikere, who has taken his campaign to the various local government areas of the state, noted that the massive support for the APC in the state can only be meaningful if it translates into votes. He says, going by APC's policy of service delivery, his determination is to reposition Akwa Ibom State through robust programs that will be beneficial to every indigene of the state.
The response has been very, very, very good, I would say. People have bought into our program, and I can conveniently say that Akwa Ibom is ready for change. To all of the agencies involved with the election process, security agencies, the umpire, INEC itself, and every other stakeholder in these elections, we appeal for fair play.
The APC governorship candidate therefore urges the people to continue to support the party in order to achieve their desire of moving Akwa Ibom State to the next level. He appeals to eligible voters to come out en masse during the governorship and state houses of assembly elections and exercise their franchise without fear of intimidation.
We promised change, anchored on the 5 pillars of change: economic prosperity, infrastructure and rural development, education, health and social protection, security of lives and property, and efficiency of governance. We want to reform the governance processes in this state and make sure that state government is run professionally and efficiently.
In Uyo, Marian Vincent Oko, NTA News.
The All Progressives Congress APC in Kwara State, under the leadership of the Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, has rounded off its mobilization ahead of Saturday's governorship and State House of Assembly elections. In this report, Anthony Forson reports on the build-up to the 2019 general elections.
And Culture Minister Lai Mohammed emerged as the leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Kwara State. It turned out to be the tonic the political space in the state has been yearning for over the years. Realizing this, the minister hit the ground running as the people continued to show support and solidarity, which snowballed into a movement of some sort. Confirmation that the people of Kwara State have resolved to liberate themselves from what they call maladministration and bad governance played out in November last year when APC won the by-election to fill the vacant seat in the Federal House of Representatives. With this victory in the APC's kitty, the mass mobilization swelled with the slogan "Otoge" sweeping across the state. In an atmosphere of peace and harmony binding the members together, a parley for governorship aspirants was organized where all interested candidates addressed party members.
We have not and we do not intend to predetermine the outcome of our primaries.
In a no-love-lost manner, Abdurrahman Abdurazak emerged as the party's gubernatorial candidate. Still, those who lost remained and threw their weight behind the candidate with their contributions towards the success of the party. Their contributions ranged from donating party secretariats to vehicles and motorcycles, all for the success of the APC.
It means then that there's actually unity between all the aspirants and the entire, rank and file of the party.
It was as if the vice president's visit was the icing on the cake, with the large turnout of people to show support for the APC in the state. But the big show was yet to come. It happened when President Muhammadu Buhari came campaigning. This display of solidarity and acceptance of the APC and the yearning for change played out with the results of the February 23rd presidential and National Assembly elections. The president won in Kwara State, just as the upper and lower chambers of the National Assembly all went to the APC.
We will win with a larger margin than the one we won before. That's what we have, we've been doing.
We also take the opportunity to reassure our people that nobody should intimidate them. Federal government is going to provide adequate security for all.
Out of the 55 operational political parties that we have in the state, we have about more than 35 of them declaring to work with our party now, and meaning that all their governorship candidates and the House of Assembly candidates will step down and work for all APC candidates.
In Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, Anthony Fosun, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Nigerian army is to flash its searchlight on troops on allegation of misconduct during the recent presidential and National Assembly elections. The Army Chief, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, announced this during a meeting with principal officers and general officers commanding. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa was there and now reports.
Crucial meeting preparatory to the forthcoming governorship and state houses of assembly elections is aimed at appraising their performance in the concluded electoral process and make projections for the March 9, 2019 elections.
Overall, I am delighted to note that the first phase of Operation Safe Conduct was a huge success. Recent security threat assessment and analysis of the coming elections showed that politicians have made plans to use all means available to truncate the peaceful conduct of the elections. There are indications of their intent to take advantage of and to use the farmers' hardest crisis, armed political thugs and ethnic militia to perpetrate acts of violence, including bombings.
The Army Chief directed commanders to be vigilant, conduct regular patrols, remain apolitical and ensure strict adherence to the rules of engagement.
We shall be tough on those who plan to rig or disrupt the electoral process. I therefore want to appeal to Nigerian youth to shun any attempt by any politician to use them to perpetrate any form of violence.
Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai stressed that the Nigerian Army's hotline 193 and the situation room will remain open throughout the 2019 electoral process. From the Nigerian Army headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And in line with the directives of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Abayomi Olonishakin, to all services on the need to ensure peaceful conduct of the forthcoming governorship and state houses of assembly elections, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, has directed air officers commanding and field commanders to ensure safety of lives and property in their various locations. This is in addition to the deployment of NAV aircraft, including intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance platforms, to various flashpoints in support of the Nigeria Police and other security agencies for the peaceful conduct of the elections. The CAS stated this during his operational briefing to principal staff officers at the NAV headquarters in Abuja. He also reminded the officers that they must ensure that all NAV personnel remain professional in the discharge of their duties, while ensuring that no individual or group of individuals is allowed to undermine the electoral process. The Federal Road Safety Corps has upgraded its operational strategies in deployment of logistics and personnel across the country to consolidate on the successes recorded in the presidential and National Assembly elections and to ensure credible, free and fair elections come Saturday. Our correspondent Aliyu Tukur has details of that report.
Mobility is one of the components of the electoral process and has been cited as a major reason for delays in commencement of polls in many parts of the country. Being the lead agency in road safety management and traffic control, the Federal Road Safety Corps is perfecting strategy to work closely with INEC and other agencies for safe conveyance of election materials to all polling units and control movement of humans and vehicles for electorates to exercise their franchise. This session held in Abuja is geared towards ensuring the success of that.
I believe what we recorded at the last one, there's going to be a lot of improvement because I haven't understood the terrain. We provide the necessary services. Again, we deploy the ambulances, the advanced life support ambulances, to ensure prompt rescue services is provided. You know, like I said, when people queue for so long a period, sometimes they may need to provide them some services.
The co-marshal who inspected vehicles and ambulances that will be deployed across the country for the elections urged the citizens to cooperate with the co and other agencies for hitch-free elections. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
Now, following the critical role played by women in the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari, the wives of the Kaduna State Governor, Nasiru Ahmed El-Rufai, brought together women for a show of appreciation. Abdullahi Mohammed was at the Ranchers Bees Stadium, Kaduna, where the women were celebrated.
The gender of the crowd says it all. It's a woman affairs, and spice in it was a special gift of their favorite musician who stood still for them. To cap it all was a delegation of top officials of the APC in Kaduna, led by Governor Nasiru Ahmed El-Rufai and his wives, thanking the women who key into the governor's wife's Gida Gida project to canvass massive votes for Mr. President in the concluded presidential and National Assembly elections. And thereafter, the stage was set for the governor and his entourage. Though the governor left without a word, his wives were on ground to pass the message.
We thank them, we appreciate them, and we want them to know that we are indeed very grateful.
We're requesting for higher votes so that we can ensure that Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai returns to his seat by the grace of God.
The APC Gida Gida is an initiative of the wives of the governor of Kaduna State, which remains instrumental in influencing the votes of the women. In Kaduna, Abdullah Muhammad, NTA News.
Now, the 8th Assembly, many say, was characterized by the good, the bad, and the ugly. What will be the direction of the 9th Assembly? That's the outlook when we return in just a moment. Stay with us.
Empowerment schemes are being provided to large number of our teeming youth.
Governor Abdullahi Ganduje has so far trained and empowered over 800 youth on automobile repairs, establishment of automotive service centers in 10 different locations, training and empowerment of over 2,000 tricycle riders and mechanics, training and empowerment of over 500 vulcanizers, training and empowerment of over 4,000 GSM technicians, empowerment of over 5,000 tea sailors. Governor Abdullahi Ganduje has trained and empowered over 10,000 women on various trades, employment of over 1,000 female teachers across the state. More importantly, Governor Abdullahi Ganduje has initiated, constructed and completed the Kano International Skill Acquisition Center, fully equipped with state-of-the-art facilities to be training youth on over 20 different trades. Vote Governor Ganduje again. This message is sponsored by Ganduje Gauna Volunteer Group under the leadership of Comrade Muhammad Garba and Murtala Silagaru.
Good news is here. The Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, provides online registration service in order to enhance ease of doing business and provide an enabling business environment. The Commission's registration services are available online. With just a click, you can now register your business online with the CAC directly without an agent from the comfort of your homes or offices, anytime and anywhere in the world, and then pick up your certificate at any location of your choice in Nigeria. The online service has made business registration easier, cheaper, and convenient. Customers can now file and upload their documents, access and pay for the Commission's services and stamp duty online through the company registration portal. To register, log on to services.cac.gov.ng to create an account. For more information, visit our website www.cac.gov.ng. CAC, committed to prompt and efficient service.
For a long time, I was reluctant to exercise my civic responsibility because I never got involved in voting for the right candidate of my choice. Little did I know that I was limiting my opportunities to a fulfilled and happier life. Most of us suffer a great deal and are frustrated over time. Because of this same action, we now find ourselves working so hard to make it in life with little to show for it. The general elections are here again, offering us opportunities with unlimited possibilities. Ensure sure you abide by the law and up to the age of 18 to be eligible to cast your votes. Make sure you have your permanent voters card, your PVC. Do not buy or sell your votes. The supplementary election will hold alongside gubernatorial and state assembly elections on March 9th. Say no to violence. This message is brought to you by the National Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, and the National Human Rights Commission, with support from the United Nations Development Program, UNDP.
She picked the time, he picked the place. Now their eyes meet. But self-doubt stands between them. Can they break the barrier? With the freshness of antibacterial mouthwash formula in our best ever close-up toothpaste. Break the barrier. Move closer with confidence. Close-up deep action for 12 hours of fresh breath.
Like a bird needs wings to fly, you need skills to be productive. No matter the level of your education, ITF can train you to acquire skills in areas like mechatronics, metal machining, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, information and communication technology, ICT, culinary art, and agriculture. Acquire a skill and transform yourself from being unemployed to becoming even an employer. Be a valuable Nigerian youth. Say no to unemployment and poverty.
I'll spread my wings and fly so high. I'll reach for the stars, yeah, it's time.
Industrial Training Fund, developing the nation's human resource.
The monumental achievement of Apostle Engineer David Mweze Umahi has brought to bear the ingenuity and antecedents of his dynamic leader, determined to change the face of Ebonyi. His meticulous prowess has set the stage for unprecedented development and rise of the Ebonyi people. Massive infrastructural projects in Ebonyi State is second to none. They are solid, strong, reliable, beautiful, and built to stand the test of time. Indeed, history will never forget this King David of our time. He has embedded his footprints in the sands of time and brought Ebonyi State to the world map in line with the developmental agenda of Mr. President Muhammad Buhari. No doubt, Ebonyi State is on the rise. Vote Apostle Engineer David Mweze Umahi for second tenure. Vote PDP.
This message is brought to you by friends and supporters of Ebonyi State Governor.
You're welcome back. This is NTA News Extra, reaching you live from the network service of the NTA. Now, the tribunal sitting in Abuja has granted an ex parte application filed by the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and its presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, asking the court to make an order to enable them inspect election materials used by the independent National Electoral Commission in the just concluded presidential election. The three-man panel of justices, led by Justice Abdul Aboki, however, rejected other reliefs sought by the plaintiffs on scanning and forensic auditing of the ballot papers. The tribunal orders INEC to allow PDP and Atiku have access to the certified true copies of the election materials to enable them institute a petition on the presidential election. The outcome of the National Assembly elections has triggered projections of the likely configuration of the 9th Assembly. The forecast is based on the increased number of legislators from the ruling party in the two chambers. Fisayo Gufui in this next report examines how the gravel could help galvanize a positive direction for the nation.
The revolving doors of the National Assembly will bid farewell to many of its occupants of the last 4 years, while it opens its arms to welcome new members for its ninth convergence. Variously described as the beating heart of any thriving democracy, this heart will surely belong to a certain political leaning for the next 4 years based on the outcome of the last National Assembly polls. The ruling All Progressive Congress 58 majority in the Senate has stretched to 64 as at the last time of counting, while its House of Representatives members are in the excess of 200. More seats will be decided this weekend after they were declared inconclusive in the last polls. But it is safe to conclude that the current number favors the ruling party.
The APC will be having an overwhelming majority for the purpose of driving its agenda of delivering on the economy, bringing security to the people, and also fighting corruption.
While the theory of separation of powers is explicit, there is the brimming optimism in that quarter that a symbiotic relationship between the legislature and the executive could put Nigeria's journey to development on the fast lane.
In the next assembly, I'm expecting that things will be different. Different in the sense that we're going to have a very clear majority in the Senate. We're going to have people with experience in the executive, experience in the legislature. Because many governors will be coming in, and you cannot right away their experience, as governors of their respective states, in encouraging, in promoting a synergy between the legislature and the executive.
Then there's the little matter of who wields the two gavels in the chambers in the next assembly. One is definitely up for grabs, while the other is a matter left to the members themselves to decide. And to quote the members, of course, they say, the hierarchical distribution of the National Assembly in terms of roles will be a matter of urgent public importance. In Abuja, Fisayo Ogunfuyi, NTA News.
Many thanks, Fisayo. Now, every electoral process is primarily aimed at selected leaders to pilot the affairs of a group, state, or country. However, this process sometimes degenerates into crisis, leading to loss of lives and property. As the country returns to the polls this Saturday, Omar Basi Edet, in this next report, examines why contenders should always be prepared to concede defeat without resorting to violence.
The electoral process in Nigeria, like in most African countries, is not without wranglings and crises within party members, electorate, and inter-parties. These crises sometimes occur before, during, or after elections, leading to loss of lives and property.
Don't allow any politician to arm you to do elections. Election is by voting. It's not by killing. It's not by carrying machetes. It's not by carrying guns.
Being a multi-ethnic society with diverse cultures, traditions, and interests, Nigerians are saddled with the responsibility of looking beyond selfish interests, but rather should promote national interest and development.
There's always another day for every competitor. Therefore, it is time for us to close ranks. It is time for the president and all of those who have emerged winners to show that even in victory, we're all Nigerians.
I get very sad when people who are campaigning for votes, who aim to enter into power, divide Nigeria in tribal lines or religious lines. This is a time we should be competing on philosophical issues. We should be talking on who is having the best economic, political, or social programs for Nigeria.
Stakeholders say if the country's nascent democracy must be protected, then contenders in the electoral process must be ready to always embrace the spirit of sportsmanship. In Calabar, Umar Basidet, NTA News.
Now, it takes two to tango is a popular saying, a stand many say is apt with the elections. Here, the electorate is expected to vote in credible leaders in building a stronger Nigeria, and the politicians are expected to provide good governance in deepening democracy. But how well have Nigerians been doing this? Where did the country get it wrong with issues overheating the polity and the way out? Over now to Talatu Ezerike.
We have learned to live under the rule of law. We have learned to fight for the freedom of the individual. Would you like to substitute this so that a number of opportunist black imperialists will rule you and oppress you?
The pursuit for national interests identified as a hallmark of the nation's founding fathers, driven by policies of ideology and no bitterness. But over time, the ideals were bastardized, giving rise to agitation, godfatherism, and bad governance. This, many say, is compounded by issues of hate speech, vote buying that undermine development. The trends seem to be changing, especially with the play out in the recent elections that shows the maturity of the electorate in advancing democracy.
Looking back at the election and the voting pattern is actually a referendum by the people showing that they do not support the elite propaganda that the nation is disunited. Is a referendum by the people that they believe in the indissolubility of this nation.
Immediately there's any trouble in the country, some of our senators and members will say, I'm going to call the American embassy, as if we are colonies of this country. The struggle continues for the soul of the country between those who want us to develop by ourselves and those who actually want us to continue to be the appendage of colonial countries.
For others, ideas that advance good governance must be taken seriously.
When it comes to issues about choosing leadership, for goodness sake, let us observe what basic documents or the ground norm. We have constitution. What does the constitution say about selecting our leaders? My opinion on the results of the election, I say it was generally peaceful.
Analysts advise Nigerians to vote wisely at the forthcoming elections for credible leaders to consolidate on good governance at all levels for industrialization. Talati Ezerike, NTA News.
Many thanks, Talatu. Now, when they say some communities are not easily accessible, and you hear that it takes long hours, if not days, to reach, some think it's a gimmick to buy time and tamper with election results. Now let's give you a tip of the iceberg in a typical riverine area. Hidden in the heart of the Niger Delta, on the fringes of the Atlantic, Kwara Kingdom is one of Nigeria's oil resource base. Accessing this kingdom, however, requires the courage to face the Atlantic storm and security infractions. Onengie Fine Face will now tell us about the road to Kwara.
The journey to Kwara Kingdom from Abonima begins on the Sombrero River before meandering through the snaky maze of a tiny mangrove creek. To maneuver this creek ordinarily would require a slow and calculated movement, but therein lies the danger of ambush from sea robbers and pirates. So the boat drivers speed on to get the advantage of distance over possible attackers. Gradually, communities in the kingdom come to sight, beginning with Ekulama 1, and then Lucky Land, Penaro, Agodakiri, before Alapoku and then Abajokolo, which, when translated to English language, means buttocks of the ocean.
Sometimes when the water dey rough, how to come inside itself. Even our bench, they break inside the river. But all that, now God, they protect us.
The turbulent river is a perpetual scare, especially at the point where it opens into the Atlantic Ocean. The vast water body would render escape from bandits almost impossible.
Just as they have improved on security checkpoints on the land transportation, it will also be nice that they also provide security checkpoints, not just the checkpoints. There should be gunboats that will be patrolling the creeks, the rivers, and everywhere.
What is more, most commuters on this route travel without safety gadgets, like life vests.
Some of these marine boats or speedboat or flying boat, as they call them, don't have a complete life vest. You can see some of us are putting on, while some of us who are probably familiar to the river are not with a life vest.
Alas, the long-winded journey brought us to a beauty hidden in the heart of the Niger Delta Creek, Kola community. A tortuous journey inundated with fears and prayers, but one that natives must often undertake to keep in touch with other parts of the state and nation. From Kola, River State, Onengie Fineface, NTA News.
While the fever of electioneering is getting to fever pitch, something else is happening to the IDPs in the northeast. The King Salman of Saudi Arabia Humanitarian Foundation is intervening to improve their lives. The leader of the King Salman Humanitarian Delegation, Nasr El-Subel, has just launched the second tranche of relief items in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu was there in our reports.
This is the mood of the IDPs in Bakassi camp, venue of the launch of King Salman Humanitarian Foundation's distribution of relief items to other IDP camps in Borno State. The IDPs thanked the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the federal government for the prompt intervention in their times of need. The second tranche of the distribution is similar both in quantity and items distributed in the first tranche in November 2018. The food items include 62,686 kilograms each of rice and beans, as well as more than 60,000 cartons of assorted condiments, which are to be distributed in 19 IDP camps in Borno State, while 7,548 bags each of rice and beans, plus cartons of condiments to be distributed in IDP camps in Yobe State. 59.8 kilograms of food items is packaged for an individual household, and more than 400,000 individuals are to benefit from the exercise. Deputy Governor of Borno State, Usman Mamman Dukwa, appreciated the concern of King Salman and promised to ensure equal distribution of the items.
I therefore wish to thank the Center and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for this relevant intervention, and we shall never, ever remain grateful to them.
This generous donation comes in line with the directive of the custodian of the two Holy Mosque, King Salman bin Abdulaziz, and His Highness the Crown Prince, to assist the affected people in Nigeria.
These items will be distributed directly to the affected people through the combined effort of the National Emergency Management Agency, Borno State Emergency Management Agency, and other relevant stakeholders in the state.
The exercise continues in Yobe State. From Maiduguri in Borno State, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
As Catholics across the world commemorate Ash Wednesday, Nigerians have been urged to be embodiments of righteousness and seek the face of God in all their endeavors to promote peace and tranquility. Daniel Adirie was at Our Lady Queen of Nigeria Catholic Church, Abuja, to witness the Ash Wednesday Mass.
It's a wonderful Wednesday morning right here in the federal capital city of Abuja. And unlike every other Wednesday, this particular Wednesday is highly symbolic. Why? Because it is Ash Wednesday. Sober mood of parishioners at the Catholic Pro Cathedral Abuja to kickstart the annual Ash Wednesday, a celebration Christians commemorate yearly with the symbolic ash heralding the Lenten season. This spiritual exercise takes place 4 to 6 days before Easter, which marks the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ for resurrects. Ash Wednesday is believed to be the most significant day on the Catholic calendar, with constant
with it.
Up here, calm down, breathe.
Celebrate with it. Breathe easy, knowing that with Glow, data is oxygen.
On assumption to office in May 2015, Governor Abdullahi Ganduje promised to complete all abandoned projects and initiate new ones. In fulfillment of his promise, he has completed some 5-kilometer routes abandoned by the immediate past administration, completed Murtala Muhammad flyover, also abandoned at 20% stage, initiated and completed the Bukavu Barracks by Ofora underpass bridge, initiated and constructed the Madubi by Panshikara interchange bridge, ongoing construction of Zoo Road by Dengue underpass bridge, currently at 50% completion stage. The rural access mobility projects include 12.4 kilometer Kachakoto-Sanyawa, 8.7 kilometer Bebeji to Tariwa, 11.25 kilometer Garumalam to Agalawa, 7.5 kilometer Jogana to Yapata to Nahuche. Completed the construction of 129 kilometer Karpi, Ranu, Bunkuri, Kibia, Sayasaya, Konar Sumaila to Dandinshe to Konar Madugu. Votes Governor Abdullahi Ganduje for continuity. This message is brought to you by Ganduje Gawana Volunteer Group under the leadership of Comrade Muhammad Garba and Murtala Silagaru.
I thought leaving the country was the best decision for me and my future.
I left for a better life.
We were picked up by immigration officials and sent to a detention camp.
I spent 8 months in the detention camp.
There was no food, no water.
I saw people being beaten like animals.
Some women were raped. Some women were sold as slaves.
I thought I would never see my loved ones again.
I have made the biggest mistake of my life.
I have wasted all my savings.
I have to start all over again.
Migration is a human phenomenon which cannot be stopped. But if we choose to migrate, we advocate that it should be done in a safe, orderly, regular, and dignified way, and not in a dangerous and tortuous manner.
This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons.
Country people, time don't reach again, oh, when all of us go come out, take our hand, choose Pensin when go be our governor. With better main road, street light, enough security, flyover bridges, berekete everywhere, even water they run day and night. What of agriculture, health and education matter, anko, the man don't do us well, oh. People when no get to chop, unko, him they pay them every month. So therefore, my people, make we join hands so vote for this man with Sabi again. Make we vote for Apostle Engineer David Nwezo Umahi for second tenure. Him go do us well. Now, friends and supporters of Ebonyi State Governor, they bring on this message, oh.
Me, I am ready for the party. Oh yeah, I want to be smart. I go really early, oh. I know your story. I go yaba to buy material. I go time my daily, yeah. I go no say I don't go. If you see my daily, oh, it go on everybody. Daily. Let me guide you to yellow. Let me guide you to yellow. Let me guide you to yellow. Let me guide you to yellow.
3G is great. 4G is better. You don't know what you're missing till you experience it. Upgrade to a 4G device and SIM, SMS Get to 141 to enjoy double data on Nigeria's widest 4G network.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Good to have you join us again on NTA News Extra tonight. So we now go live to our Lagos network studio to join Abolade Salami with business news. Hello there.
Thank you, Fatima. Good evening and welcome to Business News segment. Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, reacts to CBN's ban on forex sales to textile importers. Nina Musa spoke with the Director General of the association, Segun Ajayi Kadri, and files in this report.
Director General of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, Segun Ajayi Kadri, said the development will help boost opportunities as well as create the right platform for the production of textile industries.
What you will see immediately is, one, the confidence of the local manufacturer is already boosted by this pronouncement. I mean, what it means is that on the one hand, it will be restricting access to forests to import textile materials and garments, and in the same vein, also incentivize the local production of textile and garments. If the cotton growers are going to be supported, you will see there is more money flowing into that industry, and so they are able to have both working capital and even capital to be able to invest and expand.
The DG, however, noted that a lot needs to be done to complement the efforts of the Apex Bank, especially in checkmating the activities of smugglers.
Honestly, smuggling is becoming a major issue. And with textile, it is very easy to smuggle. So the tighter you make the official environment for them, the easier the propensity to engage in smuggling increases.
He added that the initiative will help boost the contribution of the manufacturing sector to the GDP of the economy. In Lagos, narrates Nina Musa, NTA News.
The need for relevant stakeholders to put in place necessary machineries to fast-track the exportation of locally made products, which would help reduce the importation of foreign goods, has been stressed. President, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, while reacting to the data recently released by the National Bureau of Statistics, where the country recorded a total trade value of 32.26 trillion naira year-on-year in 2018, which represents 39.3% increase over the corresponding period of 2017, said the figures can increase if key players can concentrate on activities that encourage balanced exportation of finished goods to countries with imports from.
We should be able to trade within ourselves and see how we can keep a lot of activity within ourselves and add value within Africa. Yes, the figure looks good because we have an increase of year-on-year, 2017 and 2018, we have an increased trade volume. But when one looks at it critically, it doesn't look like there is growth. The only thing that one could see is that, well, maybe infrastructural development that is taking place is reflected. But we would imagine it's the one where we add value.
Analyst stock equities, the Nigerian Stock Exchange could not stretch its bullish run for the third consecutive day. Nina Musa is standing by to give us details.
Market report. Trading finished midweek in the red, depreciating by 0.16% to close the all-share index at 32,121.74 basis points. Volume of shares traded was 208 million, valued at 2.7 billion naira, which changed hands in 3,246 deals. Market capitalization closed below the 12 trillion mark. Dangote Cement, Guarantee and Access posted gains as Seplat, CCNN, and GlaxoSmith finished in the red territory. On sectoral performance, NSE Banking and Insurance closed in the green, appreciating by 0.03% and 0.2%, while NSE Consumer Goods, NSE Industrial, as well as NSE Oil and Gas declined in figures, depreciating by 0.05% and 1.73%. That concludes Stock Market Report. It's back to you, Abolade.
Thank you, Nina. And that's a wrap on business news. News Extra continues shortly with Fatima in Abuja. Good evening.
Thank you, Abolade. And still talking business, do you know the amount of money Nigeria loses to the import of textile materials due to the underperformance of the sector? Well, that the new initiative to get that sector back to form is in the news tonight. And Leah Katumbaba today is our guide.
Apart from Ankara and maybe Adure for purely native Nigerian national dresses, other materials comes outside and have this custom duty and then pass through that the process. So, and it can add to our cost.
The Nigerian textile industry is one that gave hope to a large proportion of the citizenry in the past. In the 1970s and early 1980s, Nigeria was home to Africa's largest textile industry with over 180 textile mills in operations, which employed over 450,000 people. The industry was to be faced with limitations stemming from poor supply to access to finance.
It has become very difficult for many of these textiles and engineers to pay back this loan as scheduled.
The challenges beat hard into the fabrics of the companies, draining them of worth, and presently, only 25 out of the 180 textile factories are operating and at below 20% of their production capacities.
They start now to manufacture. Like myself, I would like to be that's a partner to them. I will even help to encourage them. The letter I have, I will put it there, provided they will give me goods. What is the need traveling outside to buy? It won't happen, I will not say, because most of them, like time we have factory here, our own goods used to be higher than the one they buy outside. That is why it has not been easy to stop like that.
With that, cotton farmers now had to seek for buyers outside the shores of Nigeria, while the country became an importer of fabrics. This role reversal saw another set of jobs also leave the shores of the land. The textile market is estimated to cost more than $10 billion annually. Nigeria is now leading a revolution in that industry with a view to reclaiming lost jobs and accompanying revenues.
To ensure that we identify the correct cotton farmers, the way we've done for Anchor Bra program for rice. We have a program, a process, a procedure that is already well set, and I'm optimistic that since this is already in place for rice, for tomatoes and cassava and other products, indeed we started doing some cotton, only that we will now accelerate.
The measures are also designed to discourage smuggling and resuscitate this critical industry. I'm Leah Kating, Baba Today, NTA News.
Now, have you ever wondered the impact a conducive business environment will have on the likes of small and medium-scale enterprises in Nigeria? It is that impact that has prompted government to employ a public-private partnership initiative in the construction of an ultra-modern market space in Kubwa, Buari Area Council of Abuja. Joy Uzo was at the inauguration of the market and filed this report.
This particular location once harbored about 300 makeshift stores. The environment was unhygienic and prone to criminal activities. But today, the narrative has changed. A productive public-private partnership initiative between H&I Construction Limited and Buari Area Council has upgraded the Kubwa market to an ultra-modern one with state-of-the-art facilities. With about 1,500 shops, warehouses, cold rooms, and other facilities, the market can now be ranked among the best in the FCT. In line with the federal government's quest to create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive, the upgraded market will increase the volume of trade within the FCT, which will have a positive impact on the economy.
By the grace of God, the commercial activities that will take place in this market has capacity for diversification.
It's a build, operate, and transfer arrangement. So we are going to be here to maintain the market for the next 25 years. Then before we hand it over back to Buari Area Council.
And besides the major spaces, there is provision of open stores for those who cannot afford the cost of hiring a shop. However, the traders still appeal that the rate be subsidized.
So we need as help from the government to look into this our issue.
The resources will be used to develop Buari Area Council, and I believe that people will benefit from this fund.
The H&I Construction Limited, which has undertaken many of such projects in the country, is a subsidiary of MN Attached Construction Limited. In Cuba, from the Buhari Area Council of Abuja, I am Joy Uzo, NTA News.
Now, there is this common saying from famous Chinese proverb, which keeps re-echoing. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Now, what about this? This time you might ask. Well, the import is what we're about to see in this next report, as Hamza Musa Makarfi reports that contractors have mobilized to site on the construction of the Abuja, Kefi, Akwanga, Lafia, Makudi Road dualization project by the federal government. Take a look.
This is an important and promising step towards achieving the project. The terms of the contract include expansion of 5.4-kilometer section of Abuja-Kefi Road and dualization of more than 200 kilometers from Kefi to Makodi through Akwanga and Lafia. Completion of the multi-million naira road contract is 36 months. Around Sabongida community, about 10 kilometers from Kefi on way to Akwanga, the people say it is a pleasant surprise after the election of President Buhari. With clearing progressing, firewood harvest along the corridor is ongoing. There may be no plans of replanting what is lost. It is good omen to see work ongoing, they say, and accidents will be reduced. The road will bring development in agriculture, trade and commerce when completed.
Let them keep on doing what they are doing. God will bless them. Because if they did this, we, the youth, we have the right and we have the opportunity to have strength to vote, or we should stand and talk what government are doing for us.
This is the ground where the foundation stone for this project was laid last year.
The right-of-way for the new road will affect many settlements and economic activities. Bulus and his colleagues are hopeful government will compensate adequately.
By the grace of God, everything will be all right. I know that they are almost close to our side here now. By God's grace, I know they will do that for us.
Team of telecom operators are keeping an eye on daily basis to ensure that their infrastructure are not affected as government diligently takes the first step of constructing the Abuja, Kefi, Akwanga, Lafia Makod Road. Lafia, Hamza Musa Makarfi, NTA News.
Now, still talking roads. Roads infrastructure is a critical component of the development agenda of the Buhari administration. No wonder Power, Works and Housing Minister has crisscrossed the nation to ensure equitable distribution of roads development. The Southwest geopolitical zone has its fair share of this dividend of democracy, as evident when the Director of Highways in the Southwest took journalists on a tour of the projects. Fatai Adieloja will tell us all about the federal road projects in the Southwest. Fatai, it's over to you.
There is no gainsaying the fact that President Muhammadu Buhari has made good his promise that funding would not be a challenge in infrastructural renewal across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Going by the frenetic pace of the work, what then is the take of the Works, Power and Housing Ministry on timeliness, equity, and quality?
The cost of constructing 1 kilometer of road in Bayelsa may do up to 320 in the north. Fashioner will eat up your head if you do any shady work for him.
This new design is now taking care to strengthen the shoulders so that the road can last.
By the grace of God, we're going to finish the project in time.
Aside the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, strategic roads in other parts of the southwestern parts of the country, such as Osogbo, Ilugbo, Ogbomosho, Ibadan-Ogbomosho-Ilorin Highway, are undergoing sustained reconstruction. This is in addition to the Shagamu-Benin Highway. Feelers from motorists along these axes indicate things are getting better.
Before they do like this, but now it goes smooth. These days, we are comfortable traveling by road.
We appreciate this. We appreciate this. In Ibadan, Fatai Ajiloja, NTA News.
Still to come, a report that may trigger your reaction and emotion concerning human commodity. Don't go away as News Extra returns after the break.
Sore throats, it's often caused by bacteria and viruses. Feels like they're having a party. You need Strepsils. It soothes the pain, plus it fights the germs with 2 germ-killing actives. Double power in 1 lozenge. Bye-bye sore throat. Take Strepsils.
Introducing the new Nivea Dry Impact and Dry Comfort deodorants. Now with quick dry effect and longer lasting fragrance. Guaranteed to keep you feeling dry and fresh all day. Proven 48-hour protection and longer lasting fragrance with the new dry deodorants from Nivea.
Team huddle. But we lost. Don't be tired, guys. This isn't a loss. It's a practice for winning.
Nothing makes a mother prouder than seeing her child growing up. But I know as he learns to lead, he'll face even more dirt, germs, and